Grace. Please put your hands together as I make welcome the head of department, a very wonderful person, Professor Chief Elizabeth. Also, to come and put your hands together for this wonderful personality.
Good morning, the chairman, the co-chairman, and guests of honor, representatives of Beyond Community Care Foundation, our discussants, my mommy and mentor, Professor Chinyere Stella Oguna, our students. The reason why we are here today, my colleagues, staff of Department of Mass Communication, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you all to today's event. And it is with great excitement that I welcome you all to this event, the maiden edition of Town and Gown Series, being organized by the Department of Mass Communication, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, in collaboration with an international non-governmental organization, Beyond Community Care Foundation, based in Abuja. The aim of this event is to bring a valuable interface between classroom and industry. It will serve as a unique opportunity to get communication practitioners of various fields to come and interact with our students on the practical issues in the industry. They will share their experiences, including the good, the bad, and the ugly, all targeted at preparing our students for the long journey ahead in their chosen profession. This maiden edition is made possible through the magnanimity of the founder of our partnering NGO, Beyond Community Care Foundation, Chief Dennis Ezebilo Ogbuozubu II, the traditional ruler-elect of Amanuke Kingdom. His large-heartedness in accepting to be a partner in this journey is most laudable. This partnership is a firm testimony that the Beyond Community Care Foundation is fully committed to its goal of developing and empowering people across ethnicity and religion. Very importantly, I'm grateful to our Chief Host and the Vice Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Professor Charles Simone, FAS, for optimal industry performance. Of course, this whole goal is still in consonance with the 2022. I most heartily thank Chief Tony Onyema, PhD, for former Managing Director of the Sun newspaper and former Commissioner for Information and Culture, Anambra State, for accepting to be the chairman on this occasion. I also appreciate the MD CEO of Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS, Chief Uche Nwora, PhD, for obliging to co-host the event. In the same vein, I salute Barrister Valentine Obianyem, media aide to former Governor Peter Obi of Anambra State, for accepting to be the guest of honor. I welcome you all to the Department of Mass Communication, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, the Center of Communication Excellence. In this maiden edition of our Town and Gown series, we've chosen the theme, Exploring Emerging Opportunities in Media and Communication. And the goal is to expose our students through the voices of various. I'm very grateful to all of you for accepting to honor our invitation. And I say a big welcome to you. Incidentally, some of our guests are products of this department, and we are proud and happy welcoming you back home where your experiences will be so valuable in mentoring these junior ones still undergoing training here. Let me equally thank the planning committee of this special event, ably led by Dr. Odogwu Emeka Odogwu, for keeping hope alive and plodding on with the task amidst daunting challenges. My thanks as well go to the Town and Gown Series advisor, our own dear Professor Chinyere Stella Okunna, for standing by us always. I want to appreciate representatives of our partners, Beyond Community Care Foundation. We also welcome you for your contribution in making this day a reality. And God bless you.
Please put your hands together again for that wonderful speech. That's our amiable head of department, Professor.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I am here to deliver a speech by the founder of Beyond Community Care Foundation, BCAF, Chief Dennis Ezebilo, Igwe-elect of Amanuke, Okamot. So, if there's any mistake here, the mistake is mine. But if there's any applause, please extend it to the founder of Beyond Community Care Foundation, Dennis Ezebilo. All protocols duly observed. I will speak to the speech. I will just read verbatim so that this is what I was told to deliver. The text of the founder, Beyond Community Care Foundation, BCAF, Chief Dennis Ezebilo, Obodu II, Igwe-elect of Amanuke, Awka North local government area of Anambra State, on the occasion of Town and Gown Series, with the team exploring emerging opportunities in media and communication, being today the 19th day of August 2021. His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, His Excellency Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Nkemo Okeke, the Honorable Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, our Chief Host, the Vice Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Professor Charles Esmone, the Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor Charles Collins Mugu, the host, Head of Department, Mass Communication Department, Professor Chinwe Uzochukwu, our guest lecturers, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, and our media friends. Good morning. I would like to begin today by extending the Beyond Community Care Foundation deep appreciation to the Mass Communication Department of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University for initiating this Town and Gown series and finding us worthy of partnership. And let me please offer my personal thanks to Head of Department, Professor Chinwe Uzochukwu, and the university, our partners, for believing in corporate organizations, non-governmental organizations, and international organizations and agencies must be deeply involved in the effort at reducing poverty in the land, enhancing rural development, and ensure the overall national development of the country through skill acquisition and sound education. For our students, it is pertinent to know that the best education of a man or woman is that which he or she gives to himself or herself. The choice is yours. As some of us did not have this opportunity early in life, but Providence has made it possible for us to be part of the chain that will facilitate this opportunity for you. I commend the Mass Communication Department of the university for this program and call on the students to take advantage of the platform and learn from these experts and improve on their knowledge of why they are studying mass communication. May we use this forum to solicit that efforts should be put in motion to encourage more partnership with the university, which must be mutually beneficial to all parties. In conclusion, I have to state that education is an essential aspect of life, growth and development. Without education, there is little prospect of a country in developing and excellency. With education comes the power to learn and implement. Education plays an essential role in character building as well as in shaping the personalities of individuals. Thank you and remain blessed.
Brief remark. Chief Dr. Tony Onima. Put your hands together. Dog of the people. He's the dog of the people. That's wonderful. Dog, welcome.
Let me welcome everybody once again. I want to go straight to the reasons why we are here. I will start my remark by telling you a small story that affects some of you here and all of us. In 1980, I was a student like you, and one of my lecturers was a young, dashing, beautiful woman. Her name then and still is Stella Chinyere Okunna. She taught me ethics. Ethics of maths is Professor Okunna. The other mentor I had then was late Professor Ikemosu. Another mentor I had then was late in that same class. About 6 of us in that same class had served as commissioners in their different states. In that same class, about 5 of us had become managing directors of different media organizations. So it is that with that small story that I express my pleasure to welcome you all to this maiden edition of Town and Gown series of the Department of Mass Comm, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Awka. Many of us have journeyed from different towns to meet those of you in the classroom with a common objective of exploring the emerging opportunities in our disrupted media and communication industry. The concept of town and gown dates back to the Middle Ages and has evolved into a platform for exploring university community engagement. I must therefore commend the faculty and students of the department for embracing this unique concept, which will, no doubt, enrich the learning experiences of the students and prepare them well for the industry. This initiative will also position the department as a serious-minded, industry-sensitive, and practical-oriented knowledge production center for media and communication studies. I'm very happy that I yielded to the pressure of restless Dr. Emeka Odogwu to chair this occasion because I have some sentimental attachment to this department. I've already told you one because of Professor Okunna. I have another friend in this department, Professor Kate Omenua, whom I served in the State ESCO. I can see my able station manager ever harassing me for one thing or the other. She's a friend, and so many others that are in the department are my friends. Our world is today governed by disruptions and innovations driven by technology. These disruptions are taking place across many industries. Most of you, all of you here students know about Alibaba. You know about Amazon. You know about Uber. These are, of course, in Nigeria, you know about Iroko TV. You know about Linda Ikeji, who built the biggest media brands without tangible media assets. COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated these disruptions in the media industry. I will speak specifically about the newspaper where I have my background. Globally, newspapers, for example, have been closing at a rapid rate, buckling under the pressure from changing news consumption habits, advertising shifts, and other economic factors. This has worsened a pre-existing financial crisis in the industry, with many shutdowns and layoffs. Many newspapers have become so slim that you would think they are preparing for one of those Western-oriented beauty pageants. All these closures, layoffs, and asset sales are coming at a time when quality information is crucial in the fight against disinformation. With this disruption, some skeptics have predicted that newspapers will sooner or later cease to exist as we know them today. In fact, one professor at the University of North Carolina had the courage to predict the exact date newspapers will stop existing. In his controversial book, The Vanishing Newspaper, Saving Journalism in the Information Age, what has happened is that emphasis has shifted to the quality of content rather than the medium. This means that content is not only the king, but the beautiful bride of the news business. The sweet old wine called news on paper, is being repackaged into a new digital wine skin. Unlike Professor Philip Mayer, I am very confident that newspaper will survive the technological attack, but will be in different forms and structures. My confidence is borne by certain developments in the industry. About 8 years ago, in the heat of these disruptions, 3 notable American billionaires spent a whopping $720 million buying up newspaper companies across America. Why would John Henry? I hope some of you know who is John Henry. If you're a Liverpool fan, you know who is John Henry. John Henry is the owner of Liverpool Football Club. The man bought Boston Globe for $70 million. Why indeed will Warren Buffett, easily the world's wealthiest investor, spend some of the ways I earn my living today is editing copies for people. Number 5 is videography. Some of the guys in front of me, what they do is what I've just described. And the last one is blogging. A lot of you go online and and you don't put serious content on your Facebook wall and the rest of them. But if you begin to put serious content, people will take you serious. In conclusion, we must know that even though technology has brought about disruptions in the media, one thing is clear: nothing beats good writing. Therefore, in whatever platform you choose to play in, make sure you have compelling content. So while you study here, forge friendship and creative partnership that will be useful to you in the future. As the main lecturer comes to give you more details of what I have said, I wish you successful deliberation and thank you for giving me the audience.
Please, we will invite our keynote speaker at this moment, and he will please stand up to be introduced. Our keynote speaker today is Jika Ato. Jika Ato. He's a face many of you know very well. A brief introduction of our keynote speaker. Jika Ato had his education at the University of Ife, graduated in 1980. He studied mass communication at UNILAG and graduated in 1985. He also studied at Oxford, where he earned another certificate in 1993. Jika Ato worked at NTA as a news anchor and head of presentation. He also worked at Channels Television as anchor of the news at 10. He moved over to AIT, where he anchored Kakaki, the popular Kakaki. After his stay at AIT, he worked as the Chief Executive Officer of Cosmo FM, Enugu. He also worked as the GM, Blaze FM. Jika equally worked as the Managing Director, Enugu State Broadcasting Service, Radio and Television. And he worked as a lecturer as well at the Nigerian Institute of Journalism. He also served meritoriously as the Executive Director, West Africa Broadcast and Media Academy, as well as the board member, West Africa Democracy Radio, Dakar, Senegal. Please put your hands together as we welcome to the podium Jika Ato.
You know, when you hear things like that said about you, you begin to look forward to what you are going to say. So I'm usually reluctant to stand on existing protocol because sometimes it's very slippery. So pardon me to establish my own protocol. The representative of the Vice Chancellor, the golden-haired gentleman who sat beside me with the beards, I admire those things, you know, the Dean, Professor Okunda. Whenever she appears at an event, you can't but talk about her. She's had an amazing impact on nearly everybody who is anybody in the industry. And then the organizers of this event have invited an amazing set of persons here, particularly the privilege of meeting Emma Agbo again, some of the best persons. Emma is one of the most brilliant editors you have on the continent of Africa. I can say that about it. You know, and he's also given me the privilege of reuniting with this gentleman who's going to sit down now. He's my friend, Dr. Tony. Dr. Tony Onyema is an amazing person. They were the persons who he told you that story about him going to the Guardian. He's self-effacing. He's very modest about it. He didn't tell you the impact they made in restructuring journalism, the vibrancy it deserved at the Sun. Dr. Tony Onyema, brilliant gentleman. Thank you very much. Good meeting you. And of course, congratulations, Dr. Onyema. Congratulations to Dr. Uche Mora, doing vibrant things at the Anambra Broadcasting Service. When Dr. Henry Duru was talking about their experience when they set up an illegal, or they ran an illegal broadcast outfit, radio station, which with Vaughn. Where's Henry Duru? Henry, can I assure you that Vaughn is still into illegality? He has not stopped. Yes, he's there. So and so that brings me to the rest of us. I have observed there are persons who came here to learn. There are those who came to observe, and there are those who came to slay. Yes, I've seen them. So in the process, I would beg those who came to observe, allow those who came to learn. And then what do we do with those who came to slay? They should slay. Thank you very much. So I must begin by saying that I am honored, delighted, and privileged to be the first speaker, some would call it the commencement speaker, at the inaugural edition of the Town and Gown event, the Mass Communication Department, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. I was tempted when I was going to start to ask you, do you know the meaning of the name of the man your university is named after? Do you know the meaning of his surname? I've heard it called everything, Azikiwe, and other things. What does Azikiwe mean? That's your assignment. We'll probably talk about it at the end. I must express my profound appreciation to the Mass Communication Department and to Beyond Community Care Foundation for this great privilege. In particular, the self-effacing head of department, Professor Chinwe Uzochukwu, and the vibrant, very dynamic young man who's been running around organizing it, Dr. Emeka Odogu. I just met him. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, straight away, as I am particularly thrilled because of my long-standing, decades-old association with this outstanding institution. As a fresh graduate of the University of Ife in 1980 and after service in 1981, I have the exciting responsibility of anchoring the then popular television program, University Debates. My first assignment was to select, through inter-faculty debates, the team to represent the then Anambra State University of Technology, ASUTEC, Oka. So I came to Oka. Again, over the years, I have maintained a very good thriving relationship, thanks to Professor Okunna, thanks to Efe Obi, who is the head of station, with Unizic's legitimate legal community FM station, Unizik FM. It has been, I hope, mutually beneficial. It involved mentorship, it involved training. And then I guess I must say this. Yes, I should mention it. My fiery but very adorable wife is a loud and proud graduate of the Department of Applied Microbiology and Brain of Nnamdi Azikiwe University. I have never stopped hearing about it in my home, and that sometimes I have to concede that very reluctantly, though, that Unizik is, well, you can't compare it with Ife, can you? Okay, I think I better just leave this before I get stoned out of the place. So you see, I am permanently tied to this institution until the very last day of my life or my marriage, but there you are. So basically, I'm a storyteller. I tell stories. My grandmother told stories. My mother told stories. So you see, it comes naturally to me to tell stories. When I was invited to speak at the Town and Gown event here, my natural inclination was to tell seven very good stories that would effectively capture the spirit of the event. However, when I saw the flyers advertising the event, I saw them on social media. Jika Ato was listed as guest lecturer. Then started my dilemma. My audience, I understand, is going to be made up of persons, young persons who have for the past 2 years or 4 years been subjected to rigorous lectures over the years. Now I ask myself, was it proper, was it expedient to subject them to yet another 1 hour of lectures, references, academic references and all that? Or should I just go ahead and tell my stories, all 7 of them? Well, I took a middle course, don't worry. I'm going to tell my stories inside the lecture. Is it okay with you? Okay, fine. So, first, permit me to share with you my experience with competencies. What is a competence? I will tell you. A competence is the quality or state of having sufficient knowledge, judgment, skill, or strength to carry out a particular duty or in a particular respect. Now, listen to this. There are basically 3 levels of competencies. The first is unconscious incompetence. Now, at the level of unconscious incompetence, you don't know. I wish it would end there, no. But you don't know that you don't know. That's a problem. Did you hear that? You don't know, and you don't know that you don't know. Can we do something here now? The 3rd row there, I like you have been consistent there on that row. Can somebody tell me the meaning of bogus? It's spelled B-O-G-U-S. That row, does anybody know? Can I see your hand? Nobody knows the meaning of bogus. You know bogus, the word. Yes, what does it mean? Big. Big, how big? This big, large, or like Agidigba? Agidigba, thank you very much. Now, do you have this app on your phone that has a dictionary on it? Does anybody have it? Can somebody please look up bogus for me? Please double quick type. B-O-G-U-S. That's how it's spelled. Anybody found it? Who's found the meaning? Yes? Yes, read it. Sorry, I can hear you. Counterfeit or fake? I beg your pardon. Okay, it says bogus means counterfeit or fake, not genuine. So it raises a question, raises a question, a critical question. At what point in our acquisition of the language of English did bogus acquire a dimension of size? This is unconscious incompetence. Do I have your attention? Okay. We haven't started. Now somebody, yes? Can somebody tell me this vehicle, you see it helps move bodies from the mortuary to the church or to the burial ground. It has a voo at the top. What is it called? Ambulance. Great. Where's my dictionary girl? Can you please look up ambulance? Thank you very much. Double quick time is spelled A-M-B-U-L-A-N-C-E. Ambulance. What does it say? Okay, I didn't hear her, but it says it's a specially equipped vehicle for moving persons from the scene of an accident, injured or sick persons to the hospital. Now, why is it specially equipped? It's specially equipped because in the course of moving them, there might be need to give them first aid or second aid or any other aid. Do you understand that? Now, at what point did ambulance acquire the meaning of moving bodies? Now I'm going to tell you, it just didn't stop there. Not too long ago, I was privileged to see at a place called Okpara Square in Enugu. And then there was this reporter of one of my favorite television stations. He stood there, he was taking a stand-upper. There was a camera and there he was. And he, in very brilliant diction, he said, and now the ambulance conveying the body of the late Vice President Dr. Alex Ekwueme is approaching the turn into the Cathedral of the Good Shepherd. I was impressed. Lovely. Now the problem was that thanks to social media and the other media, that report went to Ghana, it went to South Africa, it went to Australia, it went to the United States and to the UK. And they would wonder, the Vice President of Nigeria, Dr. Alex Ekwueme, died 3 months ago. What was he doing in an ambulance? Do you understand the tragedy we're talking about? That is unconscious incompetence. Now, Oh, yeah, by the way, just for your benefit, because you're interested, for those who came to learn, the vehicle that moves bodies from the mortuary, it's called the hearse. It's spelled H-E-A-R-S-E. H-E-A-R-S-E. Do I have your permission to continue? Thank you very much. I am tempted to, but in the time I have, okay, I think I must ask you this. Can somebody tell me the meaning of gist? You know the word we use in gist. What does it mean? To talk, to converse, to tell stories, you know. Where's our dictionary girl? Can you look up gist? It's spelled G-I-S-T. The most essential part of anything, right? Is, yes, the main idea, the high point. So if your friend missed this meeting, she would ask you, can I get a gist of what Jika Ato said? So gist is a noun. It means the high points, the main points, the most important points. At what point did gist become a verb? We were gisting. We gisted all night. This is unconscious incompetence. Thank you very much. Now, the second level of competence is conscious incompetence. Now, with conscious incompetence, you are aware that there's a difference between ambulance and hearse. But when you want to talk about, begin to say, there was this ambulance, then you stop and you correct yourself. That is conscious incompetence. You are not there yet, but you are on your way to it. That is the level of conscious incompetence. Finally, there is the third category. It is the category of unconscious competence. Now, who is at that level? My most obvious example will be the pretty young lady there. She might contest young, but there she is. Professor Kunna, the Vice Chancellor, the Dean up there. They're in the level where they can carry out an intelligent, informed discourse for a prolonged period on a subject without the risk of making one mistake. That is the level of unconscious competence. Now, I'll give you a more practical example. Is there any Catholic here? You know what they say about the Pope? We say that the Pope is infallible. Now, those of you who are not Catholics, you say, no, he can't be. He's a human being. I agree. He's a human being. He could make mistakes. But the infallibility of the Pope says that when he sits on the seat or on the throne of St. Peter and he is pontificating on Catholic doctrine, he cannot make a mistake. That is unconscious competence. Thank you very much. You don't follow your passion. You finance your passion. Now, Tony talked about some brilliant persons who did amazing things. Do you know the name Richard Branson? Oh, what's happened to our education? Richard Branson. Nobody knows Richard Branson. Okay. The British colonial administration in Nigeria developed a self-serving education system which they bequeathed to us. Now, the curriculum of this education system was fundamentally designed to produce graduates fit primarily, essentially, for employment in the colonial public service. The PWD, that's the Public Works Department, the Post and Telegraph, the P&T, the Nigeria Railways. In the 70 years of my existence on earth, I have consumed, I said 70.
Wow.
I have consumed tons and tons of water, literally. But I've never been compelled to invoke the magical combination of 2 parts of hydrogen and 1 part of oxygen to produce water. Why was I inundated with all that information? As an undergraduate student, I once encountered such lofty things. Do you know what's called Hibiscus esculentis? You don't. It's okra. Why didn't they tell me it was okra? I discovered many years later, and I have never done anything with it. Neither have I done anything with Carica papaya. Do you know who that is? Great, thank you very much. Why didn't they tell me that was pawpaw? Well, I scored decent grades in both Latin and biology, but the damage had been done. Well, you may not realize the extent of the damage I'm talking about here, perhaps, until you hear that my brain is 4 times 12. Elias didn't know. 4 times 12. The guy was shocked. Elias, it's in the matter of 4 times 12. Elias, what is 4 dozen? He said 48. Elias knew 4 dozen, but he didn't know 4 times 12. Is there a way we can evolve an education system that fits every level of acquiring education? The result we have is that at a very early age, children are primed to use calculators and they save their brain for more important functions. Now, listen to this. Youths your age in India, in Singapore, in South Korea, in Egypt, even in Rwanda, they work from home and they developed appliances or applications known as apps. These apps are meant for mobile phones. The apps are sold to Google, to Microsoft, to Twitter, to YouTube, to Facebook, and all of that. And the young people are paid in dollars. They make substantial income in dollars. IMO is investment meeting opportunity. Did you get that? Investment meeting opportunity. Everyone has 2 types of education. The one education which is important, very important, which you get from others, and the second, which I think is more important, which you give yourself. That is the most important form of education. Investing in yourself is part of the deliberate self-development process. It is focused, it is directional, and it is purposeful. It involves preparing yourself for where you are going. But before you prepare yourself, you must first find out where you are going. How do you do that? Okay, I'll tell you. You must, as persons who have education in mass communication, you must develop, or if you already have them, you must expand your research capabilities. 1 or 2 of you, and while sitting here, file a report, send it on his phone to the newsroom. So while we are still here rounding up the event, Cosmo FM has read the news. Now the other stations would finish, and then the reporters would go and meet the boys are finished, so we are ready to go. You know, the usual thing. And then when by the time they are done with that, they will leave at about 5, get to the studio, file the report, edit it maybe the next morning. But as a mobile journalist, you are, one of the advantages that you have efficiency and timeliness. It ensures that it saves you the problem of going back to a remote studio somewhere. You can do it on any phone. If it's an Android phone, it can do it. You don't require a high-end iPhone to do that. Well, there's one more stanza of investment meets opportunity I will talk about. But first, let's quickly look at those emerging opportunities. But 2 young men, Olive and Wilbur Wright, they decided they could fly. They started, flew, tried, crashed. We laughed at them. They sustained it, flew, and the 4th or 5th time they flew, circulated, and landed. And we clapped and applauded. We said, yeah, that Oliver, that guy, he's my mother's second cousin. You know how it is. Every person who has succeeded at some point or other said no to an existing order. Do not be boxed into a corner. Do not allow yourself to be intimidated. I'll conclude by saying to you that several years ago, I was a resource person at Africa Leadership Forum, the Obasanjo Reorientation Institute in Alta. So, periodically we get 50 persons and talk to them, youths, political leaders, religious leaders, and the others. Please, the slayers, if somebody came to disturb you, can you tell the persons at the rear that we're rounding up? Thank you very much. Thank you. So, unfortunately, we had this group of activist lawyers that included Femi Falana, Michael Zekome, Festus Keyamo, and some others. So I gave a very incisive talk on that occasion. It was beautiful. Even I knew it was a good talk. And at the end, I said I had thoroughly enjoyed that intercourse and I was looking forward to doing it again. I was to take comments, questions, and all that. And one very vibrant young woman from Baobab, she wore a hijab. She got to me and said, excuse me, why are you journalists all like that? You gave such a good talk. Did you have to end it like that? Please, I demand an instant apology for insulting our collective sensibilities. Since I was still standing at the lectern, I apologized. I said to her, I don't know what you were doing in 1980, but at that time I took an honors degree in English and I have spoken this language with every degree of responsibility on 3 continents. Madam, intercourse means exchange. There is diplomatic intercourse between nations. There is academic intercourse between teacher and student. There is commercial intercourse between trading partners. There is sexual intercourse. When we were growing up, it used to be between male and female. But today, you have all kinds of combinations. But that's not my point. My point is that for those of us who think from here up, intercourse means all these things. But for you who think from here down, intercourse refers only to sexual intercourse. Are you aware that the word "come" in the Oxford Dictionary, somewhere there, means orgasm? Do we need to take permission from you, madam, every time I want to say "come"? So let me say it once again. I have thoroughly enjoyed this intercourse and I hope we can do it again another time. Thank you very much.
Oh, my one. Oh, my one. Put your hands together. For this wonderful intercourse. What a super intercourse. This is called academic intercourse. Put your hands together again for this wonderful personality.
Well, I'm called upon to give a brief remark. The protocols have been established, and I give all my respect to the members of the high table, the HOD, the professors, Professor Kundan, and the lead presenter. Well, let me start from the lead presenter. If you look at my hair, you think that I'm much more older than him. But here right now, I announced that he's 70 and is looking 45. Congratulations, sir. Yes, 2 days ago, the HOD informed me of this program, the Town and Gowns, which is a series. And I'm very happy that this is happening under my watch as the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences. In our days in the university, it was just like a prison where policemen never came in. We are free. Commit anything within the school, but when you get outside the school, you see a different environment. But the world has changed. Today, please, the business moguls, the owners of media houses, please find time to come and give the children, even if it's 30 minutes lecture in the class. You let us know, you let them know what is happening actually. Because we are in a very bounteously from this intercourse. Thank you very much.
Please, that applause is not ovation enough. That's a better one. Thank you so much. I have the privilege of inviting to speak to our students and the other special guests. Amiable Vice Chancellor, Professor Charles A. Simone, FAS, who is here represented ably by Professor Joseph E.K. Chebelo, the DVC admin, UNIZI. Prof, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, the moderator, the chairman and co-chairman of this event, Chief Uche Mora, the guest speaker, And I would truly say the guest lecturer for today, because you didn't just speak, you lectured. Mr. Jikato, our own Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor Mogugu. I will also say Professor Stella Okonna, our own dear first female mass communication professor. Is it south of Sahara or sub-Sahara, the whole Africa and the rest of every other place? The head of department, Professor Chinwe Uzochukwu, and all our distinguished guests, all the students here, great Zikites. It's like you have gotten so much overdose of information that you're not speaking very well now. Great Zikites. Thank you so much. The Vice Chancellor would have been here personally, because this is a program that he so much enjoyed and so much desire to attend in person, because talking about town and gown, but for exigencies of duty and so many other programs, he had asked me to come and represent him. This program is also part of fulfilling the vision of our Vice Chancellor, which we tag as Project 200. And in Project 200, essentially, is to achieve academic excellence, and actually to produce students who will be employable, who will be excellent, and who will. It is my pleasure to welcome the chairman of the event, Chief Tony Onyema, former managing director of the Sun Newspaper Limited, and the co-chairman, Chief Uche Mora, managing director and chief executive officer, Anambra Broadcasting Service. We also welcome the guest of honor, Barrister Valentine Obieyem, media aide to the former governor of Anambra State, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, and also the guest lecturer, Mr. Jikato, executive director, West African Broadcast and Media Academy. We greet this galaxy of discussants, Mr. Imagu, managing consultant, Gavina Limited, and former managing director, Champion Newspapers. Mr. Carl Ufoye, broadcaster, branding specialist and senior special assistant of electronic media to the Enugu State Governor, Mr. Ken Esedi, Bureau Chief, Anambra African Independent Television, Enugu, Mr. Von Madukwe, Principal Presenter and Producer and Head, Media Unit, Radio Nigeria, Enugu, Tessie Igomu, Chief Correspondent, Head of Investigative Desk, Punch Newspaper, and Comrade Monique Kichuku, General Manager and Secretary, Board of Directors, Babandu Media Group. Let me commend ab initio the uniting efforts of today in concert with the Beyond Community Care Foundation. The department under her leadership is kicking off this epic program. I commend also Chief Dennis Ezebilo, the founder of it's all-encompassing, embracing the entire vista of university engagements. It is a phenomenon which is crucial for the realization of my vision and mission for Nnamdi Azikiwe University, which is to lead the university to become the best university in Nigeria, among the best 10 universities in Africa, and among the best 200 universities in the world. Therefore, this Town and Gown series, with the Department of Mass Communication, in partnership with Beyond Care, in Jesus' name.
That's wonderful.